Greetings and welcome to a special one-shot, Quinny Quest, a Dum-Dums and Dragons story. I'm your host, Bukkake's cousin, the Great Wizard Goatse. We take a break now from our regular adventure to see the impact Quinny's infamy has had on another part of Dumb Faerûn, the fully original city of Gryffondell. This arc features DM Tyler Hewitt and players Borovic, LaPlante, and Laura Hamstra. How will their brand new characters fare as they try to make their way into an emerging elite band of thieves? Find out in this episode of Quinny Quest, a Dum-Dums and Dragons story.
The sun is rising. Ships are embarking and disembarking already down by the docks. Rooster crows can be heard in the farms that scatter around the outside of tall walls. A drunken elf is both puking and shitting in an alley. It's another day in the kingdom of Griffondell. Hello and welcome to a Dum-Dums and Dragons side story. I am your dungeon master, Tyler Hewitt. Good Lord.
Yay!
And joining me for this story and game are Laura Hamstra.
Hey.
Borovic.
Hello.
And Ryan LaPlante.
That's me.
We are your cast for this little adventure, taking place in, as I said, the kingdom of Griffondell. Griffondell is a sizable city-state, lorded over by King Griffondell himself, a bustling shipping and industrial industry down by the docks. This is a coastal city, and high walls protect the rest of the city from invaders and things like that. There is a large sort of tourism component to this city, and this is also where the League of Lords are housed. The League of Lords who advise King Gryffindell in all matters. League of Lords are basically responsible for each and every single guild, official guild, you can think of in the Forgotten Realms. If you're paid to do it, odds are you're in a guild of some kind. If you're paid to do something, and if that is the case, then there are certain codes to abide by, and these sorts of things are all dictated by your respective guilds, which all belong to their respective leagues, and these lords oversee those leagues. Not much else is known about them, per se, and hopefully we'll get to learn more about them as we carry on in our story here. For those of you that are joining us from our main story, our main campaign, Dum-Dums and Dragons, at the time of recording in its 6th season, we're going back in time a little bit. There is deeply concerning news to the north going up the coast that Neverwinter has fallen to some kind of cabal of mercenaries. People are talking about the threat of the unseen hand and various military actions that they're undertaking in these lands. We are much further down south the coast. We have not seen that kind of hostile action yet, maybe at all. I don't know. But there is heightened security for these kinds of things. And so if you're trying to get into the city of Gryffindell, you need to state your business. And that is where one of our heroes finds themselves right now. She has basically been lined up all night, and finally this fucking thing started moving as the sun kind of crested over those massive walls of Gryffindell. The gates were opened, and people are being granted passage into Gryffindell. Cinder Darkbane, you notice that the queue you're in begins to sort of shuffle forward, and you don't have to wait very long before you are met with 2 guards, each holding spears, and behind them, the massive gates of Gryffindell. One guard raises his hand and says, "State your business."
Well, hello there, guard. I'm here looking for work, and please let me in now.
The guard will kind of size you up. What is he seeing when he looks at you?
So Cinder is a very gangly person. She's 5'4". She has extremely shaggy, kind of mouse brown hair that looks like someone went at it with a knife. And she's wearing leather armor, but she just looks like a couple twiggy legs and arms sticking out of a big black fur because she wears a big cowl of a bear skin, no head, but the legs hanging down. So it's just like a poof. And nice. I would say that, actor-wise, she has kind of a Billie Eilish look, especially around the eyes. But she's looks early 20s, maybe late teens. It's a little hard to tell. Also a little bit androgynous. So just an overall person who's not sure what their deal is.
Great. Okay. So the guard takes this image in, not sure what their deal is, and says, right, but what line of work are you in, eh? What are you here to do in this city of Griffondell?
Oh, that's right. I'm looks at her wrist where it's stuff smudged out. I'm an adventurer for hire.
Oh, yeah, we get a lot of your kind in here. There'll be work aplenty for you.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right. Everything seems to be in order here. Carry on. And you are allowed entry into Gryffindell.
Ha!
That gets a look. The weird triumphant laugh. The guard's just kind of well, whatever. It's a Wednesday. Yeah. And it's just the start of the shift too. They can't be.
Oh, no. And she would just bound in and take everything in because she's never been in this city ever. It's all brand new.
You are standing in what is easily the widest road you've ever stood in. There's enough room for carts many times over to run to and fro without interceding with each other whatsoever. Already, this main road into Gryffindell is starting to really start to bustle and pick up with just the general commotion of day-to-day life in a big city. Coming in, you see a lot of stables, horses for rent and hire and things like that. You also see a number of inns and taverns and things like that. Basically just the kind of amenities that travelers would want to see first on their way in, or the stuff that they would want to do on their way out. And it's at one of these inns where we find our next adventurer, Hugo Bellpepper. You arrived last night in the evening before the gates were closed for the night. And you shacked up at an inn, just one room for yourself, got some hot soup or something like that. And the sound of this hustle and bustle, kind of the din rising in the early hours of the morning, is what wakes you out of your bed.
Right.
You stumble out of bed, and there's a large mirror that you can get dressed in front of. What does your reflection look like?
So Hugo, that's his formal name, is a gnome. He's about just under 3.5 feet tall. He's pretty young, looks to be kind of not quite a man, no longer a boy, just
classic Britney Spears song.
That song.
Quite not a man. No longer a boy.
We're all playing it in our heads. Yeah, for sure. We all know the words.
And he's wearing, he's got what seems like typical brown, earth tone travel clothes, except that at every single joint, his elbow, his shoulders, knees, hips, everything are multiple brightly colored streamers.
Oh, okay.
So when he's like walking around, they'll kind of flow behind him. We got like reds and oranges, greens, purples. He's got he's kind of like a tanny, goldy color with like sandy hair, and a very large upturned nose.
Big upturned nose.
Yeah.
Nice.
And bright brown eyes.
Been looking into too many windows as a youth. Got
Yep.
stuck that way.
Yep, exactly.
Fantastic. It's time for you to start your day. You know exactly what you're here to do. You're excited to do it. You got here a day early just to make sure you could get your foot in the door. You head out of your room after you've packed up, you've collected everything. You're not coming back here. At least you don't think. You head down. You pay the appropriate fare for one night's stay, and you're out the door. Once again, just that din, that sort of just like no one distinguishable sound can be heard as you come out. Just a cacophony of people talking and bargaining, animal noises, the sounds of foots hitting the cobblestones, wheels rolling through the street. All of it is a lot. Is this a soundscape that Hugo's used to?
No, not at all. But he loves it.
Excellent.
And he says to himself, he says,
Truck. This isn't where we expected to be, but we're making the most of it.
he calls himself Truck.
He calls himself Truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a gnome. They got lots of gnome names.
Sure. Okay. I would have just completely accepted. Just he's a gnome, and just all right. I guess, yeah. Okay. He's a gnome. He calls himself Truck. Awesome. And you take your first big step in the big city, and you head down the main road deeper into the city, kind of on an incline as it just goes down towards the bay, where you can see the docks and the ships coming and going. Some significant distance ahead, near where the buildings of Gryffindell all sit much, much tighter together, a little bit taller, a little less inviting for outsiders. This is where the locals live. So there's not much need for appearing inviting or accommodating or hospitable. Along these narrow alleys and tall buildings, another one of our heroes is starting his day, or perhaps finishing his night. I'll let him make that distinction. But as he's stepping through these narrow alleys, perhaps avoiding certain areas or avoiding certain people, his foot splashes through a puddle. And what does your reflection in the puddle look like? Euronymous Kosh.
Yeah, so Euronymous Kosh, or Euro to his friends, or people who don't want to take the time to say his name because they're trying to kill him, is about 6'2". He is a big, broad tiefling, something in the realm of a Ray Stevenson. If we're thinking of his type, mid-40s, broad-faced, kind of stocky body. He's wearing elaborate purple robes with some silver, like altered chainmail, almost stylishly as a vest over them. The big guy, he's got a big necklace with the theatrical masks on them at the end, the happy and the sad, in gold. Very, very godly. He's got a very neat cravat that matches his whole outfit. His skin is a bright to dark red, depending on how the light is hitting it. A classic crimson devil look, a la Legend. Only he has two horns going from either side of his forehead, up like ram's horns that curl around, so the points swoop behind his ears and come out back towards the front of his face. He's a guy who has the energy of Villanelle's handler from Killing Eve in a Ray Stevenson body. Shockingly welcoming and warm. Also, there's something vaguely criminal about him. Like, you can just sense he's a little bit shady, but in a very cheerful way.
Excellent.
So good.
And to what I mentioned earlier, do you think he's starting his day or just finishing his night?
I think he will blend it. I think he's been up for 3 hours, pulled an early morning job. So it's really the start of the day. It's like getting your workout in before you go have breakfast and actually do things.
I don't understand that.
Little exercise.
Something light to start the day.
Yeah.
Nothing too ambitious. Right. Perhaps some pickpocketing.
Yeah, that sounds right. You got to warm up your hands. It's chilly at night. So
yeah. That's great. You managed to pluck yourself a small purse of 20 gold.
Then he's humming. This is a good morning.
Yeah. We're gonna find out super fast how little I understand like money. Like, it's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10. I'm going to carry a lot of Lucille Bluth energy into this.
Yes.
Euro's going to be fine with that. He does not hang on to money. He spends all his time stealing money, but he doesn't actually care about keeping any of it. It's just about the taking.
Excellent. And that's an important distinction for Euro as well.
Mm-hmm.
Euro, you're moving at a leisurely pace, but you've got a very specific destination in mind. All three of you do, as a matter of fact. You know that today is the day that the legendary thief Quinny Brownbarrow is recruiting adventurers, thieves, other like-minded folk into his own adventuring band or adventuring company. For one reason or another, you all have been following sort of the myth of Quinny Brownbarrow. Emerged from sort of just like a vague kind of origin. Don't really know where he's from per se, but you know that he started to make big moves when he joined a small group, and they began sort of their exploits started to be known throughout the land. And sort of all of that kind of hype climaxing with the thieves from probably a year or so ago, when Quinny won the thiefy and was subsequently murdered during the ceremony, destroyed, they say. He burst into flames and was never seen again. And after that point, the thieves were known as the Quinnies.
Mm-hmm.
And as you would expect from someone who burst into flames and was destroyed, you didn't hear from him or about him after that. Until there were these rumors that Quinny, or some kind of freakish amalgam monster claiming to be Quinny, was back with his old group of friends, kind of carrying on with those daring exploits and things like that. And now, of course, you hear about this difficulty north along the coast. Waterdeep is besieged currently. Neverwinter apparently conquered, or something like that. And Quinny Brownbarrow's kind of involved up there in some sort of resistance or something like that. And so the assumption is, a lot of this is coming from rumors here and there. A lot of this is coming from hearsay, things overheard in taverns or along the trails outside of the city, that he's putting together some kind of adventuring group to help supplement this resistance effort. And today's the day for tryouts in a warehouse down by the pier. Now, there's a number of warehouses down there by the docks, so no regular schmo is going to know where this is. This is not just for anyone to sign up. You have to kind of be capable at tracking, or you have to know kind of the thief code or thieves' cant maybe, to read between the lines of various markings on walls or things people are saying or not saying, or maybe you just have to be like extremely intuitive about this kind of thing. But for whatever reason, the three of you know where this is going down. And it doesn't take long for the three of you to arrive outside of the warehouse that you believe to be the place. Euro, you know this part of the city, at least, like the back of your hand. The docks are where a lot of your business can get done, both the acquiring of goods and money and the fencing of goods and dispersing of money. So you get here first because you know exactly the warehouse this guy's talking about, that Quinny in air quotes is referring to. So you arrive here first, and you don't have to wait around long before out of the mist. It's dark here as well, I should say. It's funny how the light doesn't ever seem to hit all of Gryffindell all at once. Some say it's just because it's just so dang big. And other people say it's kind of built like that, just to make sure that certain things that should happen in the dark stay in the dark. But out of the murky mist of an alleyway, you see a small, very youthful looking gnome. Not a boy, not yet a man though. Hugo, what do you do when you arrive at what you believe to be the right spot and see this tiefling character waiting outside? If anything.
Hugo, or Truck. I'm just going to call him Truck.
Sure. Should I call him Hugo or Truck?
If you're friendly, you can call him Truck.
Okay. Outside of combat, I'll call him Truck, and then it'll be Hugo Bell Pepper. Roll initiative. I'm going to kill you. Okay.
So Truck points at this large tiefling, and it's just like, and in the tiefling's mind, he hears a voice go, "Hey, you cool?"
Interesting. Well, I am Euro. Pleasure to meet me, he says, aloud and in his head, extending a hand to shake your hand.
"Hey, you're cool." And Truck just like bounds up to him and say, "Yeah, I'm Truck."
It's nice to meet you. That is a very particular name, Truck. Where did you get it?
Oh, well, I really, see, now here, I was born a rock gnome, but I really feel like I'm a forest gnome, and so I really like taking care of things in the forest, and there was a honeychuckle tree, and I was more of a bush, actually, but I tended the honeychuckle bush, like, all the time, because I just wanted to be outside, and then, like, eventually, people just started calling me Truck, because there was, like, honey truckle and then just truck, and then truck kind of stuck, and I really like it because I really like the honey truckle. I even have like a toy that's like a honey truckle man that I take around with me, and he pulls out this little like carved stone of like a honey truckle flower, but it's also like a weird like man with a face. And he puts it back into his pocket. Anyways, that's how I got the name Truck.
Good for you. Your friends are very focused on efficiency. That makes sense. It would balance you out. All right, so the lineup for tryouts starts right here. You can stand here. I'm going to record your information as I did. This will be great. We'll meet the other people, and then we'll pick the team.
Wait, what? Wait,
I need you have to get into line.
Are you working with Quinny?
Yes, that's right.
You're running the truck.
Yes, I'm organizing this event.
And Truck just like bows, like a sweeping bow to Euro.
Oh, thank you.
And does not rise.
Oh, no, you can rise. This is very fair. But you can get into the line over here, and everyone will do this. Euro believes that if you can commit a crime, you sort of have to. He's really only interested in robbing the rich. But he is capable of spotting new, like, low-level possible criminals who are coming into town. And so, yeah, he'll just run a con when he can, especially if it's harmless. Truck clearly has no money and no guile, right. So there's no maliciousness in this. He just can't help himself. He's the first guy here. He doesn't know if Quinny's going to show up. Maybe he can just fleece whatever rich assholes show up and get in line in like the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. And it is that, I think, guileless nature that I think you've made quite kind of apparent in this scenario, Laura. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not going to make you roll like that's a freebie. You fucking lie to this kid and he buys it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you're the first one here. That is very admirable. Very good for you. That bodes well.
Wow,
And-
it's really happening.
And at the words of "it's really happening," another character emerges from the mist of the alleyways. Cinder, Darkbane, you come upon these two starkly different in stature characters. Do you do anything, or what is your reaction to coming upon this?
From out in the mist, she would just be standing, and it's like you could see her amber eyes watching from the misty darkness. And she's gonna take them in and watch this happening, but then also is like, I don't know about this, but also knows tryouts are in this building. So I think she would try to avoid and maybe look in a window or another thing into the building to try and ascertain what's going on in this area.
Cool.
But
Roll me a
not-
stealth check.
Okay. How do
First
I
roll
do
of
it?
the game.
Oh my
That's
God.
right. And Del, we're gonna take you through this. So
I'm a baby. I've never played D&D before.
that's-
Played lots of other things, but not
That's like-
D&D.
The most Dumb Dumbs and Dragons story thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
so you're gonna
Okay.
roll a d20,
Okay. Well,
and
it's
on your
not-
character sheet.
Not great.
Well, let's see what your modifier says.
under
on your character sheet.
stealth
For stealth, yeah. What's the modifier? What can you add to that d20
plus
roll?
3
So what is the total?
The
adding the roll
total.
and the modifier.
is 8.
Wow, that was a
Altogether.
bad roll.
It was a bad roll. Try.
You take a step forward, and they carry on in their kind of conversation. You take a second step forward, and they haven't noticed you. Then you do step on a cat, and there is that full volume, like just awful yowl, and they both see you immediately. With an 8, you step on the cat and are mortified at being caught, that you don't immediately lift your boot up off the cat. So you do just have a cat going like nuts on your boot right now
Yeah.
as these two stare at you.
And I think Cinder's so distracted by this that they turn down to the cat and are just like and like, making noise back at this cat instantly.
Excellent.
Just
People are opening windows to listen to what it sounds like a feral person and a cat having at it.
yes, that is
Euro
what
and
is
Hugo,
occurring.
do you react to this in any way?
Excuse me, you need to let that cat go. Cats are sacred to Mask. They care only for themselves and will steal or hurt anyone.
Thanks, Cinder just takes a foot off the cat, but pulls out a sword and is like, does this cat want to fight?
The cat does not. Cat is off like a shot.
They're just holding a sword and looking after this cat, like, yeah, you better run.
And Trek just points to Cinder, and in like a whisper only you can hear, Cinder. You can hear,
You cool?
Cinder perks up and does a full circle, like looking for where this noise is coming from, because it's inside her head and not from somewhere, but she's pacing around like, what?
you should be able to hear that it comes from my direction.
Okay,
Oh,
can
is
you
it?
explain the exact mechanics of what this is from Truck so that I
Yes,
can picture it?
my apologies. So you do hear, I basically like point a finger at someone, and you hear like a whispered message from me that only you can hear.
Okay.
And then that person can respond in kind to me.
I think the only response from Cinder would just be, who are you?
And Truck just like waves his arms. Streamers flying.
Cinder is baffled by this, will put the sword away and very cautiously, step by step closer to the rest of them.
Okay, it's nice. I'm glad you're here for tryouts, I assume. Issue with cat, but otherwise maybe very stealthy. I am Euro. It's a pleasure to meet me. And he extends a hand to you to shake.
Cinder looks at your hand, looks back up at you, looks at your hand, looks back up at you, and says, "Yeah, I'm here for tryouts."
Great. Well, this is the line. He just like runs a hand through his hair as though he had like doing the cool guy thing or it doesn't bother him. And he's like, you just have to line up behind my new friend here, Truck, and we'll wait for anyone else coming who wants to be a part of today's tryouts.
Can I be sus about this?
Can you? You can.
Am sus about this.
Okay. Yeah, roll me.
Was there
roll me an
supposed to be a
insight
line
check.
at tryouts?
Roll me an insight check to see
Okay.
if what Euro's saying is on the level.
You want me to do competing deception, Tyler?
Yeah. Since we're putting your ability to lie to the test, yeah, let's get a deception.
Let's
So
do
opposed
this one.
checks, please.
Okay. I got 18.
21.
All right.
And Truck is kind of sidled over to Euro a bit and just says, "You know what? I don't know if she's cool."
With an 18, that's really funny. An 18 versus a 21, Cinder, you don't know how this was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I guess this is what we're supposed to do. You're not as enthusiastic about doing whatever Euro has, whatever Euro says as Truck is, but you're also at a loss for what else you would do anyway.
Right. It's true. So I think she will acquiesce and stand in line with like a little extra space between where Truck ends and then Hugo is. Just
Great.
keeping an eye out for any other things that come up.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to go inside and make sure that everything is set up. If anyone else comes, tell them to get in line behind you. You two were here first. You get priority treatment. VIPs you are.
Euro, you go to open the door, and it opens before your hand can touch the latch. And a large rat standing on his hind legs, in a long coat and like a vest and a nice white shirt, and some leather pants and boots. He has opened the door in front of you, a little surprised, and then he says, "Whoa, hey, you here for the tryouts?"
Yes, I've been organizing the line.
Oh, that's not really necessary. My name's Ratface. I was gonna organize all of this. I've kind of been hired out to see to those kind of particulars. I am sort of a major domo for hire, if that makes any kind of sense. So currently, I am in charge of the tryouts for this Quinny Brown Barrow's new adventuring endeavor. Come on in. You're not the first to join us here. Please step inside.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to meet you, Redface. Pleasure to meet you. Euronymous holds out a hand to shake, claps another hand on his shoulder, goes in for a big hug, and he would like to try to pickpocket this guy.
Yes.
So good to meet you. Mwah, mwah. Oh, it's so great to make friends.
Go for a sleight of hand.
10.
10? Okay. For a 10, you come away with what feels like a wallet. Obviously, you don't want to check what it is right in front of this guy, but you've palmed it and you secure it and it's gone. And he does not appear to notice, but while you were hugging him, he reciprocated the hug. I'm just going to leave it at that.
as he goes in, knowing he's joining a criminal group, he's 100% going to check his pockets the first moment that he can.
Yeah, okay, great. Cinder and Truck, seeing Euro meet the person who appears to be running the tryouts, does that impact you in any way, or are you kind of just going along with it?
Oh, yeah. Truck looks up at Euro and is just like kind of wide-eyed, mouth open. Is like,
You're not the guy. Good one.
and then,
Yes.
and Truck just like walks in ahead of Euro. Like, all's good.
That one will do well. It's good. Very good.
And Cinder will follow along behind, but very like, haha, my sus. It's accurate.
You will do less well, but still good.
Euro, anytime you want to do a self-assessment, a quick pat down, feel
At
free.
the
just let me
moment
know.
Ratface is going in,
Okay.
he'll pat
Ratface
down
about
immediately.
faces, and he goes in. You pat yourself down, and you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything is missing. Something new has been placed on you.
Oh, what is this? He thinks to himself. He's not going to like say that shit out loud when he's swallowing Ratface.
Yeah, it appears to be a wallet. Would you like to open it?
I think you would have to glance at it to see, because I mean, I don't know what we're doing in D&D terms, but like, is this the die pack that like you open it and like sprays you in the face? He wants to make sure it's not that.
I mean, how do you normally check that without getting a face full of dye?
He would open it, but towards Cinder's back.
Amazing.
In front of him in line.
Nothing explodes out from the wallet or anything like
Right,
that.
then he's
You
going to
can
check
see-
that shit out.
You can see now that you've like flexed it open that there is a single note inside the wallet. The wallet is otherwise empty.
Ah. What does this say? This is very clever.
You take out the note and you open it, and the note reads, nice job. Please give me back my real wallet.
Interesting. Okay. He is going to walk forwards during the lineup, and what he would like to do is bump and trip into Cinder and Truck and into Ratface, and in helping everyone up, just try to secrete the wallet back in a way that Ratface wouldn't like notice.
Okay. Let's do another sleight of hand.
A spoiler alert, he's not actually that good at sleight of hand. That's a 15.
For effort.
So.
15 will get the job done. But as you're kind of cavorting around and kind of groping and jostling everyone and finally securing the wallet back in its home. This is the wallet that you took, by the way, not the wallet that was planted on you.
Yep.
Ratface with a 15 can tell what you're doing, and as you're doing it, you just hear it in your whispered into your ear, like, "Hey, thanks a lot, great job."
Excellent. I'm glad you're not hurt. Thank you very much. It means a lot.
He gives you a knowing kind of nod, and then backs away from you, all three of you, kind of with his arms spread open, and you see that there is about 7 or 8 people already here from various walks of life, people of all shapes and sizes, all ages, that kind of thing. Well, not little kids, this is a dangerous life.
Quinny's child army being
Yeah,
formed
exactly.
in
Yeah.
Gryffindell.
Yes. Truck is legally an adult.
Ratface, arms wide, brings them together, kind of rubs his hands and says, welcome, one and all, to the tryouts for Quinny Brown Barrow's yet to be named Adventuring Company. Real glad to have you all here. Real glad you could make it. Please welcome our 3 most recent guests here. I didn't catch any of your names. It's not important. With these 3 joining us, however, we will be calling it, and no other new people are allowed to try out, at least for today. Okay? There are only so many positions on the team. You will all be grouped up And let's just, you know what? I like the way you're standing. So you three, he gestures to you three. You three will be a team. That's fine. I'm sure you already know each other. You seem pretty chummy out there. That's great. You four over there. And you three. So they're already just kind of grouped up. Ratface is doing this all kind of like haphazardly. It's pretty clear that Quinny Brownbarrow is not here, and that Ratface is a paid proxy. And some of you may or may not be starting to feel that Quinny's really getting what he paid for out of Ratface. Ratface says, all right, we got a great gauntlet ahead for you. Okay. It's going to test your skills as an adventurer, as a thief, you know, all the great kind of Quinny Brownbarrow qualities. It's going to test your abilities as a halfling, because he is one of those also. Most of you are not halflings. Okay. That's fine. You're fine. It's fine. It's fine.
If you give me a moment, I could become a halfling.
That will be helpful. Do it. No, actually, you know, youngster, I got kind of a thing going on here. Maybe.
Truck bows low.
My apologies, sir.
You're all right. I like you. No, please get up. It's fine. You're not here to impress me. I will be scoring you, but it's on already established criteria. So no extra brownie points if you're not a halfling, that you can become one. That's fine, I guess. I don't know how you do that. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm already changing gears up here in the old noggin so that it's not going to be an issue later on in the gauntlet. I'm just going to remove the halfling event. That's fine. I will note it on your application. Did you all sign the application and, more importantly, the waivers when you came in? You, yes, you. All of you, good. Yes, you did. And you three, did you sign the waiver when you came in?
Absolutely not.
All right, I'm just going to pass you this clipboard here. It's a lot of just jogging. We just need your X, your John Hancock there at the bottom.
Please read that before you sign it, little person. This is a classic scam.
And Ratface looks at you like, come on, man, what are you doing here? I thought we had an understanding.
I like you very much, but he has no money and is not very worldly. We have to teach him to be good thief.
I understand. And he pats you on both shoulders and gives you like a little handshake of like, I understand. And you feel a wallet get passed over to you. I understand. You're right.
Yes, I'm sorry. There's a cough overcoming me. I'll just go over and open the wallet up. See if there's a note.
There's a note in this wallet. It's a different wallet.
Like it already? What
this one's Velcro. So unfortunately, over your coughing, you got to do that. Kind of ripping it open. So your cough sounds awful.
Yeah, that last was like a.
Yeah, everyone except maybe for Cinder and Truck, but everyone else takes like a full step away from you. And the note says, "No one's going to care if you know a couple of people who weren't going to make it anyway aren't around anymore." XOXO Ratface.
Aww. Cinder will speak up and say,
Do we have to sign this to be able to do the tryouts?
Yeah, unfortunately, it is a requirement. Yeah.
So she just flips to the very end and writes on it and flips it and hands it back and done.
Excellent, kid. I like your moxie. How we doing over here, Short Stack? And he looks to you, Truck.
So Truck has been carefully pointing at each word and reading it, and then looks up at Ratface. Goes like, "Nah, I'm kidding," and just signs it.
You're all right. You had me going there. No, he didn't. He looks to everyone else. He's definitely he feels like he's with the adults in the room, and Truck is a kid. He's very much already kind of made up his mind about Truck.
Yeah.
And then all eyes fall on Euro.
Yes, it's time for me to do this. I have my own pen. This will be great. And he will forge the name of one of his childhood bullies, which is what he does every time he gets a ticket for stealing onto public transit or anything else. He has like 3 kids who treated him like shit in high school, and those are the names he gives because he knows their current addresses. So like the guards show up to harass them all the time.
It's perfect. Yes.
He's Creed Bratton.
Yeah. Creed Bratton, upstanding citizen, little bit of a rough streak in his youth. You know, he was mean to some kids. But, you know, he feels that he matured and really kind of built a lot of character in his early 20s and mid 30s. And now in his 40s, his credit is complete dog shit and he doesn't know it. Doesn't get it. His wife has left him and his kids hate him.
Who's a redskin loser? No.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you know his address because he can't afford to move anywhere else. So he's just stuck where he's at.
Yeah, after the checks I've signed.
Yeah.
They don't let him in the bank building anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's having some hard times. Anyway. So with that, Ratface gratefully collects all the clipboards with waivers and things like that on them and says, all right, now, and he pulls, he kind of shuffles over to a wall, and there's a big old chain hanging from the wall, and he yanks on that chain. And in this dark, dank, musty warehouse, there was actually a curtain, a massive curtain partition that falls away. It's disgusting. It's a big, mildewy, dusty, disgusting piece of fabric, but it does drop to reveal a sort of ramshackle funhouse with a big kind of cartoonish rat in a top hat kind of ringmaster holding a like a barker's cane. And it's got a little kind of motorized hand waving back and forth and a little bit of lights going, a little bit of like a carnival music going. And he says, welcome to the gauntlet, ladies and gents. Here we go.
This episode of Quinny Quest, the Dumb and Dragons story features Del Borovic at the Deltastic on Twitter, Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at the L Hamstring on Twitter, and our Dungeon Master Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the One Shot's logo was created by Decapitated Markers. This show's theme music is Gothic Trip with Thunder Horse by Damiano Baldoni. And our ad used the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dumb and Dice, you can visit our website at dumbdumbdice.com, our Twitter and Instagram at dumbdumbdice, and our Facebook at facebook.com/dumbdumbdice. We have merchandise available at redbubble.com/people/dumbdumbdice. And most importantly, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. Now I'm off before that robot DJ returns and destroys us all. Ah!
Dumb-Dumbs and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Spot Allen, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG, it's Big Nick, D&D and Things, Norma Byers, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Flea Unit, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Melissa Rain, Mithrian, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.